Here you go. This is the beginning of the stream. All right, everyone. Welcome to Granblue Radio. This is episode number 205. Uh, you may notice that in the VODs there has been a little bit of a change. We've gotten like 205 hours worth, it feels like, of just Granblue Fantasy content over the last week. Uh, so DJ, I'm not even gonna bother with like the 2 sentences of intro. We're just gonna get started so that we can go to sleep and maybe play Back for Blood. Maybe not even in that order.
I hope it's the other order. I have work tomorrow.
Okay, okay. So we've got ourselves a whole new game to work with, essentially. So we're gonna start by just organizing things. So I'm just laying this out right now. So the Granblue Fest info that we have is massive, and we have 3 parts that we're going to be doing. We're doing 3 episodes on what was dropped at Granblue Fantasy Fest.
There's a
Today,
lot.
yep, today we're going to cover just through the end of December. Next week, we'll be talking about a bunch of new stuff. You said that we'll have Xenokoro, we'll have
Once
what was that?
the rebalance.
Yeah, we'll have the rebalance to talk about. Well, we at least have the rebalance that we know is going to happen, and then we might even have like the raid rebalance changes, and we will be able to talk about those. But anyway, next week we'll mostly be talking about the changes that are going to be going through the anniversary, and then the third week that we're going to cover, we're just going to cover stats. We're just going to talk about player stats because those are fun.
That's my favorite parts of those streams, by the way.
It's so good. I'm sad that we didn't have time for like like exp- exhibition of just the stupidest things that are being done in Granblue Fantasy, like the what is it?
There's
The
no
most
combo video at this time.
Yeah, there was no combo video. There was no like the most damage done to Macho Vern. There was no like proving grounds 1 turn kill. That involved re-rolling Richard a bunch of times. That was my favorite. It's like, these are the odds of this thing happening. Point zero something or other percent.
Someone's out there doing it, so might as well give them some props.
But alright, we're going to start with the changes that were made a little bit over a day ago. So we're going to talk about these 2 new characters. It's Lily and Spinna. So who do you want to start with?
Let's start with Lily, the SSR.
Okay, so you have the numbers better than I do, but my first impression of this is that Lily, like, we've gotten the question a lot where it's like, is Lily good? And it's like, do you want to live? Then she's good. So let's go through that.
Do you want to talk about that stat of the Water Lily real quick?
Where Water Lily is the most used character by players who are ranked 1 to 50. She's the most used water character by players ranked 51 to 100. She's number 1 in the ranks 101 to 150. She's number 1 in ranks 151 to 200. She's number 1 in ranks 200 plus.
Lily's pretty good, as we could tell.
She just does everything. She keeps you alive. She debuffs. She like does it on full auto. She does more damage. She double nukes. Like, it's big. She does it big. The thing that she doesn't do is personal damage, but you know what? It's fine. You don't need her for that. She does everything else. She holds your hand, she cooks dinner, like, she sings a lullaby for you when you're about to fall asleep, like, she puts
Thanks,
a blanket on
Lily.
you when you fall asleep on the couch.
So we have a new version of Lily, and that's pretty cool, actually. I actually like this version.
Narita, one of his favorite characters is Lily, so I'm sure he's happy about this. So, anyway, so a lot of these things that you look at for her, the only thing that matters is her type, honestly. Because her specialty, like, you're not going to be putting her on, like, ultimate teams for offense. You're putting her on a team so that you can live. And because of the Lily passive that requires 3 separate character types, and by types we mean races, so other, draft, primal, etc., that means that she is not going to be put on teams with other characters with the type other, who are
Except MC.
right. The MC is already one of them, so you cannot put 3 others on the team and expect good results. So you can't use her with Lucio. You can't use her with Robomi. You can't use her with a Mira. So that's essentially like 3 characters locked out of getting full effect from Lily. But that's actually kind of a small list. I'm trying to
Compared
think
to
of.
any other race in the game for Light, yeah.
It's like Sahar if he ever comes out as his own version, because Lucio is Sahar, so spoilers. But it's a pretty short list of characters she doesn't work with. Like the rest of the characters, you want her around to keep them alive if you're going to keep them alive. So, all right, we're gonna spend a lot of this time comparing her to her water version because that water version is just so good. So, Frozen Twinkle, it's damage and it removes a debuff. The water version
Correct.
of her gives you water attack, doesn't she?
Yes.
So, um, instead of just reactively removing debuffs from you every time the enemy takes a special action, it's on her CA now. Okay, sure.
That's fine.
Um, the other thing is that, uh, so her skill 1, you're gonna need to consider this in 2 pieces. So first up, she gives light attack, so that's moved from Water Lily's CA. She gives charge bar gain increased. How much is it? Is it 20?
20%.
20% up? So that's Noah. Noah gives that as well, if I remember right. Or is it 10% for Noah on his CA? Let's go take a look. Noah is
30.
30% charge bar gain. Okay, so that's 2/3 of Noah. So it's not quite as good as Noah's. All right, fine. Um, and then it's a heal. How much is the heal? Is it 3K?
2K.
2K? 2K's fine. Um,
All things considered, with one of her support skills later, yeah, that's fine.
yeah. What is regular Lily's heal for? It is 1500. Yeah. So she's going to be fine. Like it heals for more than her water version, although yeah, she might do it less. I don't know. It's weird. All right.
She might do it more.
Yeah. So she might do it more. She might do it less. Depends on your team. So here's Gleaming Crystal. Not Gleaming Crystal. Holly Jolly Holiday Brigade, which is the important one for Holiday Illumination. So when your team performs the Chain Burst Ascension, which is the 4 chain, then she will cast Holiday Illumination, and it will give everybody 10 meter, which, because of her Holiday Illumination effect, is actually 12 meter. So, even though this thing says that it's a 6 turn cooldown, it's however often you do a full chain. So it's another encouragement of doing full chains. Um, and then you can have like light Silva and back to make your full chains even more juicy.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one is her long cooldown. So Crystalline Barrier, which is a 2,000 damage shield and veil, and
Mm-hmm.
then with that one extra race in your team, you'll get mirror image for your team, which sticks around until
Until you use
you use
it.
it or get hit, and then armor, and the armor is 50% damage reduction, 100% chance.
Correct.
It only lasts 3 turns out of 8, so like there's a character to compare this to that hold on, like that entire kit on that second skill reminds me of a very good defensive light character in Sword. It's our girl De La Fee. There she is. So that's on her CA, where she gives you mirror image and armor. Her mirror image armor is 70/30, but also because it's on her CA and because her kit gives you 20 meter on her heal and then another 20 meter when she reactively heals you, that's up a lot. And so you compare Lily to this, and you're just like, I've been using De La Fee a lot since she got her 5 star, and so this entire defensive kit is really good. It's crazy good. And then the Icy Carol, so she gets Glaciate, and Glaciate's very rare outside of water.
Glitchy is a really good debuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Reduce multi attack to the enemy. It's pretty nice.
And she has 6 turn cooldown gravity and 25% attack down, aka the magic arrow rain number.
It's not on Air Rain though. It is actually on dual stacking. So
That is weird. That's very weird.
yeah, that is really weird. But it's on the Mist modifier instead.
Okay, that's very strange, and I didn't know that. And thanks for correcting me on that. And
Yeah,
then
that part's weird. So it's the same strength as Miserable Mist attack down.
the very last thing is Gleaming Crystal, which is very similar to um, her water passive, where the more character types there are, then she gets an attack up boost. And um, it the thing is, her water version is only based on it only gives you attack. This one it gives you attack, so it's 15%. It gives you 30% CA damage and 15% CA damage cap on on Lily specifically.
Yeah, for the full stacks.
Hmm. And it's like, so this character is not going to win any awards for damage races or anything like that. But I mean, in the words of a very wise man, John Witherspoon, but you live, son. You live.
My also favorite part is that it changes out new gen for the CA loops.
Yeah, the Lily loop, or not? It's the Lily loop now, which is just hard to say.
Also, is with the limited instead of a event character.
Hmm.
Also, to be fair, the entire team is also all limited. So
All right. Yeah, that's it's 2 grand characters and a holiday limited, as opposed to 2 grand characters and a
an
Cinderella
event
girl,
character that you can't get right now.
right? It's a funny loop, and it's when you have Lily in it instead of New Gen, you're much safer against debuffs because when you're doing this loop with New Gen, well, if somebody gets taken out of the action, it stops. Like, wait, they are sword, aren't they,
Which
for New Gen?
it should be sword. There's 2 sword characters
There it
and
is.
a
Is Shiba?
character.
Yeah, I just had to make sure that I had Shiba in. Yeah, because the thing is that New Gen is capable of removing debuffs from you on a short cooldown, but
But
then you
it's not full auto safe.
it's not it doesn't happen on full auto, and you have to sacrifice the actual boost to charge bar gain and 20% meter, which then ends the loop.
Yeah,
So anyway, I love Lily. That's all I had to say.
Lily. All right, you want to talk about Spinna now?
Let's talk
Our
about
boy.
Spinna. Hold on, it's easier to do
He
this
hates
from...
people who diss on spin blades.
Have you looked at his Fate episodes yet?
I haven't gotten there yet.
I'm told that they're wild. They're basically like every shonen battle toy anime, but taken somewhat seriously. So like he'll just take buzzsaws to people, but they'll survive because children's cartoon rules. And there's like
Ah, yes.
shadowy cabals that are trying to use the spin blades for evil because of course there are. It's apparently wild. So, when we talked about our spin last time, we talked about how like they were being very, very careful with his kit because he's super strong, but you have to dedicate the entire gimmick to him in order to make him work. And I mean, it's kind of happening again because before we say any of this, before we talk about any of this, we have to say low attack. And when that low attack hides the actual numbers, where his final number on attack, even though it says 8250 here, it takes whatever it comes up with and cuts it down to 30% of the original number. So he gets a 70% damage penalty.
Yeah, that's fine though.
So you really do have to like really, really, really up his attack because his gimmick is not about attack numbers, it is about number of attacks. Which was true for his R and is now true for his SR as well. But also, I mean, look at this drip. This guy is fancy looking.
Dude, his art 2 is really good.
Where he's giving you a spin blade for Christmas.
Yeah. in a box. That's I love how it's presented you in a box while you're at dinner.
All right, so we start with spin up. So spin up, we want to cover first because the CA, the main purpose of the CA, since he does no damage, um, is the extend spin up buff duration by 4 turns. So he
It's the
has
exact
permanent.
same as his R, by the
Right,
way, on those parts.
right. So once again, permanent double strike and permanent triple attacks.
The triple attack's not permanent technically.
You can extend it permanently. How about that?
Uh, Technically, also no, because of the cooldown of skill 3. We'll talk about that when we get to skill 3.
All right, so 5 out of 9 double strikes. When he CAs, it goes to 9 out of 9, and if you continue CAing. So, all right, here's his triple attacks. His triple attack skill is a 3-turn duration, and does it go down to 3-turn cooldown when he
Yes,
uses?
it does.
So 3 out of 3, and he gives himself a spin blader level when he triple attacks. So he's gonna gain 2 of them every turn. So he
And
gets
when
to.
he has
Oh, go
oh,
ahead.
and when he has spin blade stacks, he gets more supplemental damage on
Mm-hmm.
top of that. But he also has defense down on top of that.
So the higher his spin blade level is, the harder he gets hit, and the more damage he does out. Because this guy, what's his chaser number, DJ?
20%.
So 5 turns of attacking, he's gonna have 20% chaser permanently from himself. Not permanently, but you know what I mean. Effect, as long as you can have rev up. So every 5 turns that he does his attacks, because he doesn't gain any spin blades on his CA turn. So let's just go through this play pattern, right? You triple attack twice. You probably CA because you've just gained enough meter. So that's spin blade level 2. Then you double triple attack the next turn. So that's turn 3. Then turn 4, he unless you turn off CA, then he will triple attack and then CA. And so that's spin blade either 2 or 3, 3 or 4, I mean. And then he'll triple attack and triple attack and triple attack and triple attack and that's another like 3 or 4 stacks. So it's about turn what, 9 or 8 or 9 where he runs into spin blader level 10.
No, it would be faster. It would be like turn level 6, turn 6.
Turn 6? Okay.
Because remember, he double strikes, so those are 2 separate triple attacks.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So around turn 6, he hits his spin blader max, so he can't rev up anymore. So then he has to use blade potential, and the cooldown on this thing is 16 turns. So
There's
he'll
also no way to remove that 16 turns.
you have to keel in basically. Is it can't
Well,
recast or can it be recast?
it can be recast, but it'll only
Okay,
be casted at 10 and
right.
also 16 turns.
All right. Anyway, so they're being really careful with him again because his fundamental play pattern involves a whole lot of swinging, like a whole lot, a lot. Like people who really do want to dedicate their entire team to making him hit hard, he hits mega hard. Like you can put, Marigna buff on him. Soon you'll be able to put like the Jean buff on him for like damage cap up and attack up, etc., etc., etc. And the guy swings for 8 gajillion. It's
Look,
crazy.
I want to put him with Valentine's Grimnir, and also so we add in the Keen as well, and just see numbers fly everywhere on with that team.
Yeah, there's some fun videos that involve Spinna. Like he's not necessarily the most viable or anything like that because once again,
Like,
but I mean the part where he is an SR who can do that much, like he joins the Hall of Fame of wind SRs who just do ludicrous and crazy amounts of damage, along with Medion and Mirin.
he has a fun kit,
He's got a fun,
so
yeah.
yeah.
And someday, if he ever gets an SSR, that SSR is also got to be wild. The question is, like, they've been ramping this up little by little to see what is safe. The, and so we'll see what happens in 2022 or something, 2023 Granblue Fantasy, when they're like, you know what, it's time. It's time for SSR Spinna. And until then, I mean, he looks good. I like the costuming. Like,
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of the holiday costuming this year. Like, Lily looks like she's at the head of a parade. Spinna just he looks good in a tuxedo. Uh, Nemone is dressed for Hawaiian Christmas, and Mirin is dressed for Japanese Christmas. So, did you watch today's login story for Christmas?
I breezed through it.
She admits that what she is holding, it was supposed to be a wreath, and she messed up.
Typical Mirren.
Very typical Mirin, where she's like, "Oh no, I was supposed to make a Christmas wreath. This is a Kadomatsu." And yeah, good job, Mirin. We appreciate you.
I appreciate her. I have her on my team now.
All right. So that is things that happened on the 16th. The last thing to talk about that came out on the 16th is did you get the TN outfit?
There's also a thing technically before the 16th that we haven't talked about.
Shinobu. We'll talk. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the outfit first because we're gonna
I
go
do have
into. Oh,
I
go
do
ahead.
have the TN outfits.
Okay. I kind of stopped using TN in my front line because I full auto things more often. But this outfit's really good. I like it. I really like it a lot. The story of this outfit involves bullying Sovan again,
As always.
as always. So it's. But anyway, um, Sexy Santa Tian joins Sexy Santa Andre. I actually still use this outfit. Santa Claus, mustachioed Santa. I love it. All right, so last thing to talk about. We're in the second half of Demon Slayer in terms of just like new characters, and so there's a new character, and this new character is once again like free wind craziness.
This character is actually really good. Like
Because
really good.
I mean, when I go down to just Wind Katana, the other like really crazy wind character that you can get for free, Monica,
Marco's really good.
she's crazy. And now we've got Shinobu. Shinobu's really good. All right, you have the numbers in front of you, I hope. So
I do.
walk us through.
All right, so her CA, it's typical CA, 450% damage. When the enemy is poisoned, it does 30% CA damage, more CA damage, and 10% cap up of
30,
CA.
3010 is a very standard number. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes lethal hit, that doesn't matter half the time in this game, but
Mhm.
sometimes lethal hits.
Okay.
6 stings, 5 turn cooldown at level 55, 6 hits, 100k per hit.
Mhm.
Also deals 10k poison damage and puts a debuff of Wisteria poison, which is like not cold cage, ghost
Ghost
cage.
Cage. Ghost Cage or the Dory effect, whatever it's called. Dormouse one.
Apparently, the poison goes up depending on her dosage level, 10k each.
And her
So
dosage
like,
level comes from skill 2
and also being targeted.
and also being targeted. Okay.
Yeah, so
So,
she can have 60k poison. That's cool.
I mean, the poison number itself doesn't matter. What matters is the paralyze effect when you're at 5. And local
Yeah.
paralyze is one of those things that can save your ass.
All right. Moving on to poison administrator. Goes down to 5 turn cooldown at level 75. Lasts for 1 turn. Note how it should say lasts for 1 turn.
So in case of freaking shenanigans from Luchador, it takes effect for both.
So you raise your dosage level by 1, and also you gain insect breathing. This is the part that's really insane.
All right. So insect breathing. What does insect breathing do?
It changes her one foe attacks to being a cap at 1.1 million each hits.
So it gives her assassin.
or 3% cap up for CA.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Da, da, da.
So she has a heal and clarity on her skill 3. And when she's at dosage 5, she also gives 20 meter to everybody. So this becomes the De La Fee heal at maximum dosage. And then when we say boost to attack specs and skill specs based on dosage level, like what's the attack up and cap up that she gets for dosage?
Okay, for dosage levels, it's on a perpetuity mod, by the way.
Okay, so same as like Seox and characters like that.
So for each stack, she gets 6% attack up, 20% DA up, 12% TA up, 10% skill damage up, and 3% damage cap up.
Okay, so basically the only thing that she's missing uh is multi-attack essentially. And also she doesn't give herself any kind of chaser, but like for
No,
a
she gives
free
herself multi-attack.
she gives herself some multi-attack with the dosage level, you're right. She doesn't give herself guaranteed triple attack, which other characters can do for her. So, you know.
But 60% TA is pretty cool
Mhm.
at back stacks.
Mhm. It's pretty high.
Oh, also, she does have a chaser. Actually, it's on her EMP skill.
Is it?
She does bonus elemental damage effect against foes that are poisoned.
Oh, there it is. We found it.
Goes up to 10% at max level.
I see. Nope, can't. I don't have any of these. All right. So, hey, look, I gave her triple attack rate. All right, she's keeping that ring. Good job, everybody.
Yeah, so she's really good.
This character is pretty wild. So, I'm going to bring up something, by the way. Remember when back in the day, this other free wind katana character, when people saw the words sharp boost to attack for one hit on Riesenjagd, they were like, oh crap, he's gonna be so busted. And then he turned out to be pretty safe. Yeah, they're just like, alright, you know what, we can give this to Shinobu. Shinobu writes, everybody, screw Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer all the way. Good job, everybody.
I mean, she doesn't die immediately when she gets hit.
Pats on the back all around. Pats on the back all around. We did it. We made a better Levi. Well, she doesn't guarantee triple attack every turn, but still. I love this character.
I mean, she doesn't take triple damage upon taking damage. So I'd rather her use her.
And also, let's talk about her art again, because this art is, like, I talked about how a bunch of this Demon Slayer art I want to see on, like, merchandise that I will buy. This
Oh, yeah, it looks so
Shinobu is
cool.
gorgeous. And it's way less busy than the Rengoku one. The one Rengoku one's super busy. This one is just, it's butterflies, it's her, and then two other faces. There's no, like, fire flying everywhere or anything like that. So yeah, I want the Tanjiro and Nezuko one, and I want this one on something. Give it to me, Cygames. Give it to me. Chat says, not dying when hit is a downside. Shinobu loses on the memes of Levi. I mean, it's true. Um, Willness is not going to hit Levi for what, 2 billion?
It's some ridiculous amount because they put the Maragna buff on him and directed all damage to him. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. All right. Next up. So are we done talking about new characters?
We are.
Okay. So the next thing we have Xenokoro coming up very soon. This one's gonna be super quick. The True Purity Sunblade uncap is technically already in the shop. The main thing is this trophy isn't here yet, but we know what it's going to look like. It's going to look like all the other 5-star Xeno weapons, where it's going to have hit points.
I think the main thing to think about is what's the CA gonna be up to.
True. The CA on this thing is already really good.
Yeah.
The uplift effect to all allies is incredibly useful, especially when you're in light and your multi-attack is low. Because there's just a lot of like stages of the game in which your light multi-attack is kind of bad, so you just need to gain meter. You just want to gain more meter all the time, every time. And so there's a lot of characters who can just boost your meter gain. Noah can do it. Um, let's see, the new generations can do it. Lily can do it. Amira does it.
Amira.
Yeah, like a lot of really good characters for you in the early game are there to give you meter. Like the characters that I use the most just give meter.
Serial
Ilsa is
gives
the
meter.
yeah, Serial gives meter. Like Ilsa is the exception because she actually does give your entire team multi attack.
That's yeah, yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So that's there. Um, that's Koro. That'll happen. It'll be a thing. All right. So here comes the big stuff. So we've got 6 characters who are getting a rebalance on the 21st, and we have a maintenance on the 21st coming. So let's look at Fire Katana and start with UL. So we talked about the problems with UL, and now um, the the solutions that they are putting forth, especially since this character is gaining a lot of profile with her appearance in Granblue Fantasy Versus. I mean, you can freaking see an ad for her in Granblue Fantasy Versus on the homepage. Uh, there's a few things that they're doing. So the first change is kind of a nothing change, to me at least, but to other people it matters. Um, where they're changing the order of 2 of her skills for uh, um, the purposes specifically of uh, full auto. So they're gonna switch Guren and Aya the Sparrow. It's like, okay, sure. But here are the following things that they're doing. So Crimson Dance Yugetsu, which is specifically for her her 5-star version, will give her stacking heal up, which it means that you don't have to hit third dance Jinka for it anymore. Which
Thank you.
Thank you. This button was annoying.
For 3 turns, you had increased healing for only these 3 turns.
Yeah. So she'll still have the 15% damage cap up, which, by the way, is more relevant than it's been in a long time. Like, before, the meme was that Fire couldn't hit the damage cap, so it's like, what's the point of this?
Yeah, because in 2016 you couldn't.
Yeah.
When they first gave this 5-star.
Now she can. There you go. So Aya the Sparrow is going to be moving down to the second position. So we're going to cover Guren's change first. So Guren's change is that first, it will apply Fox Flame. So they've taken what they've learned from Water UL and Wind UL, and also Societ, and they're going to be giving her the Fox Flame debuff. Cool.
All right.
The Fox Flame debuff will... I can't quite remember exactly everything that it does as an actual debuff, but as an indicator, as a marker, then the things it'll do later on will be important. The other thing that Guren will do is that at plus plus, which is her 5-star version, then it will be the one that provides fire chase. It'll still provide the fire chaser and let's see, fire multi attack up to your allies. So she now gets a significant buff from the fact that she can buff your allies multi attack. That's nice.
Yeah. Remember where she was just that's the only thing she did for the team was the heal that you sometimes gave care about the numbers for, and the chaser. Now you have multi attack. That helps a lot.
And then so that'll happen first. So the first thing that she'll do on the full auto, well, she'll do third dance Jinka first, but the first thing that she'll do is put Fox Flame on them when her nukes are coming around. Then she'll hit Aya the Sparrow, which is her own multi-attack up stacking. So that's going to happen. Instead of boost to double attack rate, even at the base level, it'll be boost to multi-attack rate.
That's way better.
At plus plus, she'll also give herself stacking attack up, stacking dodge up. She will also gain double strike against enemies with Fox Flame. And the effect of the multi-attack up will go up, and then the cooldown changes to 6 turns. That's amazing!
That's pretty good.
And so the thing is that Guren into Eye of the Sparrow um, will give her because these cooldowns will line up, she will get double strike once every 6 turns.
Hey, is it double strike? You wrote down activates twice.
Oh, sorry, it activates twice. My mistake.
That makes more sense. I'm like, that's way too wild. Hold on, we need to pull back.
Yeah, so the double I forgot about this. The double strike is actually being added to Jinka. That's the thing. So this skill it means that this skill will activate twice when done in the right order, which the game will now do in right order. Rite of
Thank you.
Dawn unchanged. Third Dance Jinka is the one that I was pulling this from. So Third Dance Jinka now says she always triple attacks, and when she attacks for her turn, she double strikes. Instead of the boost to healing specs, that's going away, and the boost to fire attack honestly was just never important.
It wasn't important.
It used to be important in 2016 for Percival, and specifically Percival,
But
and
we
then a
changed.
little bit after that for Shiva, but there's a lot of other ways to give yourself fire attack now. And then Moonrise changes, and it says supplemental damage to the entire team when attacking an enemy with Fox Flame.
I mean, that goes also in line with her skill, her not skill 1 anymore. It's gonna be skill 2. Her Eye of the Sparrow, where it attacks 4 times, and then you double casts.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of damage is always pretty nice.
Yeah. So I'm just comparing to what she did in her water form, where she gives Chaser against enemies with Fox Flame. Well, it's like this version already gives Chaser, so it's like, what's next? There's Fox Flame. Slight a chance for attacks to miss, so it's blind and a dot. Got it. That's a really good update. Double strike 1 out of 6. I mean, it's a little bit lower than other characters who can do it 1 out of 4, but she also guarantees triple attacks on that turn, so that's Predator with no downside of like being dead. That's
Stacking attack up is also good.
Yeah, she's got a lot going for her now.
I might put her in the Harp team.
Mm-hmm. So next up we have this is the one that they're being really conservative with, because this one I have to give an incomplete grade to. Because
of what comes out the same day.
The same day, you will be able to uncap Andre another time to hit level 110. So keep everything that we say in mind when there are only minor effects. So Fleeting Spark right now gives 1 turn of dodge and counter. With the update, he will have 3 turns of dodge and counter. Some people are very mad at this because it means that it is much harder to sacrifice him to get Maria Theresa or Haslia in front. Especially since Enlightened One is also changing. So instead of taking 1 lethal hit and staying at 1, and then the next hit kills him, then it will now say he has Undying, so he stays at 1 for the entire turn before losing the buff. That's what Threo has.
Correct.
And then at level 90, whenever he upgrades the passive, then it's level 90. It will also say when he's in red health, he will heal himself to full and clear all debuffs from himself. Which means if you're trying to sacrifice him, it's not going to work. He will go back to full health.
You mean the defensive unit actually stays alive?
Yes.
Wow,
So
that's kind of amazing.
And then the last one is Arm the Bastion. They're doing a quality of life thing where, in addition to the 100% all damage cut, which they eventually had to start designing around in V2, they're adding 100% fire cut to the same button, so it does both of them now, so that Willness doesn't just own him.
Yeah. That one was needed. That one was actually needed.
Those are the 3 things that they're changing right now this second. The rest we have to grade when the 6-star details come out.
Yeah. So one of the things about the Fleeting Spark is that according to Wiki, it only dodges 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, are they doing something to compensate with the 3 turns or anything? I don't know.
Well, the thing is, before he would only counter for 1 turn. So if he countered fewer than 3 times, you're just like, "Aw, man, that's like what 3 million damage that I could have done extra."
Yeah, but if he only hits once and then two times different times, it's not gonna be on his assassin turn.
Yeah, true. But it's still one of those things where it's like, you remember when I would yell at Shiva for having multi-attack down for some reason and only single attacking me on the turn that I was trying to, do fancy things with Onrei against Shiva?
Yeah, I remember 2 years ago.
That was a long time ago now. But, it's for that situation basically. It's like, well, I haven't used these counters, so I guess I got to use these next ones.
We'll see how that goes on the 21st.
Yeah, we'll find out on the 21st. Like I said, we have to give this an incomplete grade. Next up, Summer Europa. The Summer
All
Europa
right, this
one,
character needed help.
because the thing is that regular Europa had just enough offense and more than enough defense. Because like this fire switch, the triple attacks, the heal and clarity, like a bunch of like boosts based on how many times she's triple attacked, etc., etc. Like this was a really good package, and so the problem with not using Europa means that like you weren't using the rest of this ungodly powerful staff team either. So hold on. Let's talk about Summer Europa and what she's getting. So what they're changing about her, they're changing specifically Tyros Benedictus, and her two support abilities. So the rest of this kit stays the same. So she'll keep triple attacking. She'll keep doing like water minus water, up to 6 hits. She'll still give celestial guidance to somebody. She can give someone CA reactivate still. The main thing is she no longer uses Starry Waters on Tyros Benedictus, so she can throw Starry Fate around. She can once she reaches 5 Starry Waters, she stays there now, which is why they're also saying she no longer starts battle with 2 Starry Waters. So Tyros Benedictus, the changes that are coming to it. This now affects all allies when you're at 5, rather than you have to use any for it. So once again, you give everybody Chaser, you give everybody Crit.
I thought your note says that it changes to deals TA and damage cap up instead.
My bit. That's right. You have said that correctly. I was looking at the wrong thing. She guarantees triple attack for your entire team and gives them damage cap up, and it's on a 6-turn cooldown. But there's an asterisk here. Now then her support skills change. So the Spring of Stars is going to change. Um, like I said, she no longer starts battle with 2.
Because you know,
And
like consumes anything anymore.
yeah, she never consumes anything. And it says here that in addition to gaining Starry Waters on hitting a red button, which is House of Thieves up here, or triple attacking up to 5, and her attack based on her Starry Waters, she also gets damage cap up based on her Starry Waters.
Ooh, that's always fun.
And then the last one, Twilight Miracle, is being totally redesigned because this thing is garbage. So
Yeah, that I never understood this passive.
it was meant to be used with the Europa summon, but now it's whenever another ally is revived by a skill or summon call, aka it's not when you used an elixir. Then, um, it says here, uh, her skills
Uh,
go off. It ends cooldown for her skills. So when you resurrect somebody, you can get triple attack and damage cap up for the team again, and you can give celestial guidance to somebody else. So
okay. It's not. I'm not gonna write home about it because I shouldn't have my characters dead in some of these raids. But
but if you're intentionally killing people off to resurrect them again, I mean, if you somehow get into some kind of like pain of death loop, right?
in water,
I'm just saying.
I know where you were going with, but still, I have to put in the stopper there.
Yeah. But the problem is that like look at the rest of this team, and it's like, what do you take out for Summer Europa? Because Europa herself You use her. It's pretty clear. You use her with Lily, and you stop taking damage. Drang has his use. He's like a slow bot. Marius is like also slows and gravity. Um, Altair has some uses. Romeo is the tank for the team. Maria Teresa is very good. Like Hasalia is really good. It's just like I still don't know when we're gonna use Summer Hero, but we'll find out. We'll find a way.
You put her next to Chat Noir and have them watch from the sidelines.
We'll find a better use for Summer Europa than we have for Chat Noir.
I mean, yeah.
All right. So next up we have Siegfried, who
Yay.
I keep talking about Siegfried as being like always the fourth best character in whatever you want him to be. Like he's around the fourth or fifth best katana damage dealer. He's around the fourth or fifth best like saber damage dealer. He's like the fourth or fifth best tank. He's just on the verge of being good at something. Like he's good at a lot of things. He's not exceptional at anything right now. So they're changing that. They're changing a lot about this. So he still does his CA that does damage at the end. So that's still one of the things that you use him for now, where you just want him to hit EX plus and unite and fight. His Uwe is changing. So it does more damage at Uwe plus plus. Okay, sure. And it also gives him Water Switch.
That's pretty cool.
Matters for his water damage cut to all allies. And it matters for his new Drachenblut. We'll get to that later. Man Against is changing. So instead of boost to attack, boost to defense, it's actually changing to he consumes hit points to give himself jammed. So that's something that we've seen on a lot of characters. Beatrix has multiple versions of it. Ire has it, etc., etc. So he enables his own enmity for enmity grids. And then at plus plus, he will also gain damage cap up, multi-attack rate up, armored, and undying. And so
Undying is really good.
He'll have undying on a skill. That's wild. Alright, then we go to Delirium. So instead of draining foes mode bar and transferring it to him, which is really unreliable and actually doesn't do anything in V2, they're just changing it entirely. He's now got type... Whoop, go ahead.
I was going to make the Typhon joke.
Do it.
Alright, he takes away all... do you have the picture on you for the Typhon, by the way?
I have the picture on me. Hold on, let me get it.
Yeah, he takes away all the dots and also gives you 100 meter.
Hold on, let me just do this for you and for the stream. Local Dragon Dad too powerful to die. I mean, yeah. Alright, so we're just doing this now. Hold on. This is for you, Trip. It's me, it's Typhon, especially since you can't recast it. So yeah, once per fight, he can just suck out all of their CT dots and give himself full meter. That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I mean, you never really hit Delirium in the first place, let's be honest.
I hit it when... Yeah, I didn't. It was so bad. It's a very 2015 skill. Alright, and then his support skill. So there will be two support skills here now. What we now know as Drachenblut will have its name changed, and there will be a new Drachenblut. So the current one is going to be... Now it'll now say... when he will gain more meter from damage taken. Okay, sure. He will also have Garrison, so that's in line with his wind version. So the lower his health is, the higher his defense goes. So once again, like local dad bod too strong to die. And then the new support ability for his 5-star, which will now be called Drachenblut, is what the maximum amount of water damage he takes from any single source is 10,000, and any debuffs that get applied to him have their duration reduced by 2 turns.
All right. I like that.
So he will have a high uptime undying and armored and water cut, and like his defense will keep going up over time. And yeah, yeah. Goodbye. Really low chance at drain.
Like I said this like a couple podcasts ago. He had a do nothing support skill before.
I've seen it happen maybe twice in the time I ever played Granblue Fantasy.
I've seen Vera's golf more.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, Siegfried gets a major glow up. Next up, speaking of glow ups, we're going over to Wind Sword. So, in order to avoid mixing myself up, I'm only going to look at my notes now and not at her herself.
All
So,
right.
so Jean came out, what was it, 2017 or 2018? She was the first.
2018.
It was 2018.
Back on March.
Yeah, she was the March swimsuit, which started, and she also crashed the servers when she came out. So very
Yeah.
popular character, uh, and she was useful when she came out, and has not been used since, basically. So things that she does now, reversal tide, so it'll still have defense down and wind defense down. It will um, be a 6-turn cooldown now instead of a 5-turn cooldown. Having a 5-turn cooldown on this thing is kind of not really like something that matters.
Because usually you spend like 7 turns or something, or
In those 3
by that
minutes.
point you need to go up. Yeah.
And then it'll add dispel because wind needs more dispelling.
Look.
I mean, it's still useful.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about it. But there's a lot of dispelling to be done in wind, even in wind sword.
I mean, have you seen Galleon?
It's true. More
He has like
dispels,
3
more
buffs on
better.
him.
All right, next up, salvation. So this thing, it was armored, it was strength, and it's like it's it was permanent, but it was single target. And so
Yeah.
it's like single target armored is not that useful. You usually want it to your entire team so you actually know who's taking damage, or it doesn't even matter if you know who's taking damage or not. I mean. So anyway, the new thing effect of it is pretty big, which is why it is now an 8-turn cooldown. So it will provide someone the following. It'll provide them revive when knocked out, so the Fief auto revive. It gives them crit rate up, multi attack up, debuff immunity, and damage cap up.
See, that's more useful.
And here's the thing: is that like a lot of this, I personally don't have Folia, so I can't like compare 1-to-1 very easily. But a lot of this stuff people are comparing to Folia, where Folia's buff, let's see here, is crit, multi-attack, debuff resistance, and damage cap, and armor. And it's 5 out of 8 turns. So
For Trans Absolution, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the thing is that La Pucelle is changing. And it'll say whenever she CAs, it extends the duration of salvation by 2 turns. Which, Yeah, that is in fact Potentate's Pilgrimage. So yeah, they took what they learned from Folia and gave it to Jean. Then Banner of the Brave is the last thing that's getting changed. I used to use this on like 1-turn teams in order to get that last 10-meter required. You don't need that anymore. With Crusaor existing. So now, instead of just attack up and meter up, it is now the following things. It's a heal to your entire team, which it used to require her EMP to have any heal attached to this thing. So it'll still heal, and now she'll heal extra. It will give your entire team Revitalize. So if
That's
you're
always fun.
Full health, it gives even more meter. And speaking of even more meter, it now gives 20% meter.
Instead of 10?
Instead of 10. So she's getting closer to her original version. This is a really good change. I'm going to start trying her out again.
Yeah.
I haven't used this character in 2 years. I'll use her
I don't.
again when this patch
I don't
changes.
even own her.
All right. The next. All right. Next up, Toyen. So once again, we have to give this one an incomplete. Merculite is going to change. It's going to change from one turn of dodge and dodge everything to one time dodge all, which 6 has. It's amazing on 6. It just sticks around until it's used. It's great. Merculite plus plus, the attack up on it will also go higher. That's a nothing change.
That's a nothing change.
Depravity's changing. So the following things are getting buffed. So the poison, the burn, and the putrefy will have a higher damage amount and accuracy rate, success rate. Sure,
The success rate on those debuffs were 65%, by the way.
that's the attack down and defense down are going up to 25% each, which is actually a really big change.
Especially since that'll actually make it so you stack you max out on mist with
Mm-hmm.
it.
And then the success rate on those ones is also going up to 90% specifically.
Those also used to be 65%.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, they were not reliable.
Yeah, and then the clincher is changing in a very minor way. Right now, it's boosted damage based on how few foes remain. Now it just says, you're just doing max damage on it.
I mean,
A
that's
couple of
fine and
good,
all, but
yeah, a couple of good QL things. The Merculite change is the biggest one, and then once again, we're sitting around waiting for the 21st to see what her level 110 looks like. Christmas Mary is next. Christmas Mary. Do you have this character, DJ?
I do actually.
Okay, I stopped using this character in I think 2018. Um, they're changing her CA, so instead of delaying on CA, which is something that when it's unreliable as Mary's is, was kind of like a drawback rather than an actual thing because you couldn't count on it, and sometimes it would, like when you were doing defensive turns, it would waste your defensive turn. Now it just says cast Snowdrop. Okay, sure.
Is that your note just says also cast instead of that?
Oh, okay. I'll have to change that. Um, so Snowdrop is the one that lays on Bounty Hunter, but it's going to do more damage, and it's also going to give light defense down. So okay,
That
sure.
part's very big. I like having that.
The piece of cake is not only attack, defense, and crit. It will also add 50% chaser to whoever she chooses. So that's a really good change.
Especially since it was uptime was 100%.
Mm-hmm. And then the good tidings to all, which was boost to attack based on how bounty is now CA specs up against enemies with bounty.
And that's to all light allies.
To all light allies.
That's way better than her current skill. Then
This one's really bad. It's a percent based on the bounty level, so it's like a 9% attack up against full bounty. So this character gets better. I don't know if she'll actually get used, but you know,
I'll use her. I love Mary.
Mary's great. I love this character. All right, and then finally, the mama of all changes. Whenever there's an Narmea change list, it changes so many things because she basically has 7 skills.
Depending on which form, yeah. There's Isaiah.
Hi, Isaiah. Isaiah, get in the call. Get in the call.
It's limited right now to only us two.
I can drag you in here. Get in the voice call, and I'll drag you in here so we can talk about Narmea, your girl. So the following things are happening, and this is actually changed from what GBF Fest was telling us a little bit, very slightly. So, where are you? There you are, Narmea.
I have no numbers on her stacking defense down, by the way.
Hello?
Uh, hey, so we're talking about Narmea, Isaiah. You ready?
I hope so. I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know if I'm ready.
Welcome, Ebonic Plague to Granblue Radio for a special guest appearance because we saw him in chat and dragged him into the call.
I'm just so honored to be invited to talk about my wife.
Well, I mean, you're the one who got her into Granblue Fantasy Versus, right?
That is correct. I put in a lot of hard work and dedication to make sure that she was going to be in the game because obviously she originally wasn't. We all knew she definitely had no chance.
All right, so the following things happen now. Butterfly effect is changing so that it no longer gives her skill seal.
Let's go.
That thing was one of the most annoying things about using Narmea. I hated it.
Because you just be locked
Yeah.
out of your skills.
Well,
Skill was the last thing that you used in turn if you used multiple skills.
not just that, but if you were setting up, you had to set up your assassin turn a turn in advance,
True.
which would often like waste the turn. You're like, oh, it's not an OD anymore. Oh, great, thanks.
It's really unreliable if you're like sitting in a raid and then somebody just hits it like with a CA turn and it's like, well, all right.
And also,
Somebody's out of break.
her hit to defense used to be permanent, and it was from, let me see here, it's in the news here. It was 7% for every time you use the skill to a maximum of 35%. So she used to, over the course of a fight, give herself minus 35% defense.
Good lord.
Now it is 20% flat. That lasts 3 turns every time you use butterfly effect. And so if you're constantly dancing in and out of stances, it's minus 20. If you're not, you can just let it fall off.
It's also in dark. I feel like the enemy's probably going to be attacking other characters than her.
I mean, that's fair. Transient's changing a lot. So the only thing that doesn't change is dark damage to a foe. That's still there.
Wait, sweet. It still does damage. We did it. We did it,
We
boys.
did it. The next thing it does is it puts on a special Narmea only debuff, which is something that we've seen a lot in like Zeta and a lot of other characters like Jamil, who just say, as long as this debuff is on there, then I do things.
I have had a Narmaya only debuff on me since launch. Just saying.
Thanks, Isaiah. I had a drink in my mouth and I had to just not spit it out.
This is why you brought me on, right?
Right.
Like, this is...
So,
Yeah.
alright. So if she's in Dawnfly, then it gives her deals multi-attacks while in effect. And it's 2 turns instead of the 3. The defense down stays around. That's fine. At ++, it changes into guaranteed triple attack for 2 turns.
Free Flutter, right? Or is
Yes.
that Dawnfly?
That's for Dawnfly. And, just the nuke itself does more damage. Okay, whatever. The nuke itself doing more damage is a nothing change. Kyoka Suigetsu changes. Kyoka Suigetsu is when in Dawnfly, instead of boost to a foe's mode bar, it's like, why? Well, actually, no, the exact reason why was to get them into...
So you could assassin.
You could assassin them in
Yeah,
overdrive. What she actually does instead is she dispels now, because dark needs more dispels, right? But I mean, it makes her
Well,
powerful.
Look, I will take being able to dispel every single turn possible. I'm fine with that.
Actually, come to think of it, did we ever actually bring any drafts to Lucilius?
No.
Yeah, because it's her, it's Vaz. Well, actually, some people brought Vazaraga, I bet, but we didn't.
In
Yeah,
dark,
In dark,
specifically?
yeah,
in dark.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because like in water, I would totally bring Narmaya.
that's true because she still dispels in
Dispels.
water form. Yeah, okay, so they brought that over from water. Nice. All right, and then in Free Flutter, then it no longer it gives her crit and instead of attack up, and it gives her sharp boost to caster's attack for one hit against a foe with her transient debuff.
Instead of OD.
Let's go.
So you don't longer time anything anymore.
Super excited about Anytime Assassin, honestly.
The Glasswing Waltz, no longer ready in 3 turns. It just happens. It's just ready from the beginning of the fight.
I can finally use her in 1 turns.
I'm pretty sure they looked at how many times that skill was actually used, and it was like super underutilized.
A lot of the things that people brought Narmea to, was exactly 2 turns long. They would bring her to like nightmares and things like that, and use her for exactly 2 turns. So yeah, Glasswing Waltz, better skill. Fortified Vigor, I believe, is the next one, where it changes to, instead of boost to draft attack, it is
and primal and other.
Her buffs cannot be dispelled, and she survives at 1.
Wait, hold up! I didn't read that change. That's actually buffs cannot be dispelled. I love that.
Her buffs cannot be dispelled, so they give her the Golden Knight change and the Maloo change.
Oh, I don't know how I missed that part.
And the last one is Lock Swords, and by the last one I mean the next one is Lock Swords. And it says that sometimes, so slight chance of damage reflection, and during Kyoka Suigetsu, which reminder is every 6 turns, the reflect happens every is guaranteed to happen. So that's a Christmas Narmea change. So Christmas Narmea can guarantee the reflection. The main thing is that Christmas Narmea also has a taunt. So
I also see that they moved the lethal attack dodge from her Lock Swords to Fortified Vigor.
Mm-hmm. So that you can get
I
it
don't
without
know
her.
why.
Go ahead.
But I don't know why. Like, can you explain that to me?
It's because the take a lethal hit without being knocked out, isn't that a change that you get from 5-star, and it's not 5-star anymore? It doesn't require 5-star?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it was a level 90 change.
I totally forgot that Lock Sword. I've had Narmaya like max leveled for so long. I just forgot when the the skills came.
Mm-hmm. And the final one, the extended mastery support skill, her slight chance of dodge encounter is actually becoming, whenever someone has her unique debuff, then she gets crit up.
Which is hilarious, given she also has the assassin on usually when that's going to happen. Or at least you tried it.
Yeah, the assassin also comes with crit now instead of attack up. Yeah. So she just gets more crit. More crit, every crit.
She's also got what, the EM, I think she has crit EMPs, doesn't she? It's been a while.
Let's take a look. She has 2 crit EMPs.
Yeah, like we're just critting, bro.
It is funny to me that she has a reflect node, and reflect is one of the worst nodes in the game, by the way. I hate this one. It's just so unreliable. And she has hostility down. What's up?
Dom, if Christmas Narmaya has reflect, and reflect is a node, that would be the same thing, right? Obviously, huh?
Get out of my call, Isaiah.
Wait, no.
He's gone. Thanks, Isaiah. Thanks for joining us for talking about Narmea. Anything else to say about Narmea, about this change? Like, that was a lot. They changed literally every skill.
I'm good on this.
That was 6. That was 6 of these entries all changing in a week. All right, so there's that. Next up, what's the next thing on the agenda? Because that is all 8 characters. We covered them.
Premium Friday on the 25th.
So Premium Friday on the 25th is actually going to be more than just a single quest. It's going to be weird. So the way that they're going to do it this year is that they're going to have a Premium Friday raid battle, and based on it'll earn player points based on each defeat of the battle, and based on the player points that every single player earns in Granblue Fantasy, they're going to start awarding us things. So, like, low points, they'll be giving out things like crystals and treasures, etc. And then we get some really weird ones. Like, really weird. Let me just pull these up. Hold on.
Please tell me.
What was that?
I said, please tell me more.
Like, where are they? Open. All right, so I need to change views for this. So one moment, folks, while I get this ready. The reboot messed up my prep for this episode, unfortunately. Where did that go? Premium Friday. Here it is. All right. So let's go over to this screen. And let's talk about Premium Friday rewards. So our first Premium Friday reward that they revealed to us, of the special ones, is R. Vicky.
With a note that she's worse at fighting than the cats.
So they're giving us an R. It is specifically Vicky without the ears on, and it says she's worse in combat than young Cat. But look at her. Do you want to protect her, DJ?
I want her to protect me with Disneyland.
That's her SSR version. This is her R version. This is to be protected.
I mean, the best protection is to keep her out of the battlefield.
No, the best protection is to have her on the battlefield in Disneyland, dodging everything. But that's beside the point. I want to protect this Vicala. So the second reward that they revealed as a special reward is that, so normally, all of these last Unite and Fight bosses, we've been doing a cycle. So we've got Heimdallr was the last one. We got like Elil previously. There were all of these summons that give crests. So the next one for January is supposed to be Nyarlathotep. They're like, nah. Instead of Nyarlathotep, what if we give you this T-Rex, the way that current science believes T-Rexes could have looked like, because we think that they were feathered. And when asked about it, Fukawa was like, I thought it would be cool. And then
dinosaurs are cool.
Dinosaurs are cool. Then there's the next one, which is what we grew up thinking what Tyrannosaurus Rexes look like.
I mean, Jurassic Park helped influence that by a lot.
Right, but I mean, there's an effect in science called shrink wrapping, where you look at the skull and you just sort of forget that fat is a thing, and that like feathers also aren't preserved by fossil record, and
True.
So like they sort of narrowed things down a lot. By the way, the stats won't change at all, and then if Nyarlathotep goes away, then Nyarlathotep will become a Dread Barrage boss. And then the fourth thing that they're giving us is the Eternal Premium Friday, which is going to be a wonder that goes into your listing, and it will just hand you a Premium Friday worth of bonuses every month. 300 rainbow crystals and a fried shrimp.
Thanks, Friday.
Thanks, Friday. So that's how they're going to try and get people playing during the weekend of Christmas. And I mean, there's a lot of players of Granblue Fantasy who are going to be playing during that time because we're going to have roulette on at the time. So I mean, why not? Let's get ourselves a dinosaur, kids.
Yeah, during this time, there's a lot of mobile games that are doing events and stuff like that during the Christmas time. So everyone's doing their own thing. We get Fridays.
Play our game. We'll give you a T-Rex and don't forget a golden statue of a shrimp.
Also a spinner.
All right. I think that's it for the Premium Friday raid for Rat and the Dinosaur. All right. Next up, we have the raid rebalance. So there's a lot of raid rebalancing. We're going to go through really, really fast on this one. So a lot of the raids are getting their AP and BP reduced. So the things that are going to be AP and BP reduced. Let's see here. So these aren't changing. It's the Shiva tier will be going from 90 to 60. Huanglong and Keelan will be going from 90 to 80. Prometheus series is going from 80 to 50. Proto Bahamut is going from 90 to 80. Proto Bahamut HL specifically. So it's this boy right here. Wings of Terror. It's going from 90 to 80. A lot of these are just very minor things. Here are the bigger ones to me. So Rose Queen is changing a lot. So Rose Queen's going from a 6-person raid to an 18-person raid. Her defense and her defense is going down. So people will clear Rose Queens a lot faster. Like, when's the last time you did a Rose Queen, DJ? Be honest with me.
When it was on half off, like when it was free, actually, I think.
When there was no hosting material for it earlier in the summer.
Yeah. Also, the fact that I just followed it because Fire's really dumb at this point.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you're a newer player and you're trying to get things from Rose Queen, like, no one joins. Like, you only join to be generous to people at this point. And so this is a kind of necessary change for people who are actually trying to get things like the Rose Queen weapons, or they're trying to, like, get some spare replicas or something like that for their class weapon, etc., etc. Like, the little things that Rose Queen can give you. Like, when you are scraping by and needing every single pendant in order to buy your regalia weapons, then Rose Queen's great because every 3 Rose Queens you do or so, or sometimes every, like, 2 Rose Queens, is a distinction for a class. So you can, actually build toward your class champion weapon, or just your class unlock, or your eternal uncap. Like, all of these things that you need distinctions, but you can't spare the pendants for. So, yeah, I mean, it's necessary for those players. And so making it easier for them and making it, like, less of a hassle is great for them.
The only part I really hate about Rose Queen is when she's in dark form.
Yeah. So that thing has like a 40 defense or something stupid. I hate it.
Really high. And also sometimes it puts you to sleep.
Yeah.
Makes it even worse. Then it turns past, puts you back to sleep. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And so, like, this is necessary for Rose Queen for those people who specifically need the fact that she is one of the only bosses and reusable bosses in the game that drops distinctions. Otherwise, you have to go into co-op and mash that, but it's not guaranteed. The pedal is guaranteed from Rose Queen, and that's important because, yeah,
you trade in for infinite distinctions.
Mm-hmm. And
there's no limit.
Yeah, you're not using prestige for it. The other things, so a lot of EP changes. We're not going to go into those. The following things will actually change their player limit as well. So let's see, where's Lindworm? Is this Lindworm? No, Lindworm's. Where is Lindworm?
Lindworm's bottom left, I thought.
No, that's the 6 dragons.
Oh, I have no idea.
Lindworm's here. He's in the center. So Lindworm is going from an 18-person raid to a 30-person raid.
That raid takes forever.
Yeah, so it needs more people. I hate this. Like this. There's also other things to encourage people to get into Lindworm, so we'll get into that in a second. Speaking of raids that take forever, the 4 Primarchs are also changing to be a 30-person raid.
And
there it is.
That's a necessary fight too, because it's the only place you can get those halos.
In order to uncap things like the Seraphic weapons. And then there's also going to be more reasons to go back for them. We'll get into that in a second. We're just talking about numbers changing around. Each 6 dragon will go from 6 people to 18 people. So
make those go faster, please. Yeah.
Yeah. They're hopefully going to go faster. There's more reasons to go back to them too, because the design of them currently is that you don't get the weapons unless you host, basically, and people just don't join anymore for that reason. And then the Malice series over here is going to be going from 6 people to 18 people. It's really important for when you're just getting into Tiamat Malice, because Tiamat Malice, if you are not ready for her yet, will kick your ass. So will Leviathan, honestly. For Nisus is a little less punishing, like for the first 75%, but still like
And then
these.
he'll kill you like around 10% though.
That's true. But yeah, these ones they need the help, I think. And those are the changes to just the stats and things like that. The following things are also going to happen. So the Lucilius raid, Dark Rapture over here, defense down. Okay, sure. I mean, people tend to slam into those things and just like one touch them and then peace out because because this one already had a 30-person limit.
30 cap, yeah.
So yeah, everybody who just like um, if 30 people join and chain burst, then it dies basically. But defense down helps that. It means you need less people now.
Oh yeah, someone did actually mention this. Proto Bahamut HL is also getting 30 man.
So Proto Bahamut HL is also getting the change to 30-person. And actually no, it doesn't say that Proto Bahamut is changed. Wait, where is that? Let me make sure of the notes.
It's on right after 6 dragons.
It is right after 6 dragons. So Proto Bahamut also is changing to 30-person, which also needs to be to happen. But the more important change to Proto Bahamut HL, hit points lowered
And defense down.
and defense down. The hit points lowered is enormous. I hate that fight so much. It takes so long.
I usually sit in there for 20 minutes, waiting for it to get to 50%. Full autoing.
Yeah, I specifically don't even join until it's 50%, because screw that fight. Yeah, and then the thing is that they're also changing drops around a lot. Like a lot. So, for the raids that you see a lot and they're getting abandoned, so Proto Bahamut is one of the most abandoned raids in the game. Because, once again, 1 billion health is too much. So, these are the things that are happening in Proto Bahamut. So, number 1, the Primeval Horn over here is going to be in the drop number and the number that you get going up. Because, I mean, you need 50 of these things for a lot of stuff. Like,
you also need them for for also EX levels as well.
Yeah, so like we need so many of these, and getting like 1 to 2 of them a raid is just so obnoxious. This Bahamut horn used to only be in like the MVP chest. Now it's just going to a normal chest. Okay, sure. They're also adding anima to it. So they're adding the showdown anima because the showdowns are abandoned. I actually forgot to put that in my notes, I think, and I'll have to put that in the thread. All right, we'll do that in a second. I'm gonna write down a note. So update drop changes for PBHL. That I wrote that to you. Oops, sorry. Anyway, and then the blue chest is changing.
I actually like this change a lot.
The blue chest is going to be... so currently the blue chest is what? It's the purple...
Primeval Horn, Coronation Ring, and Lineage Ring, and that's it.
Ew. So now it will only have 4 items in it. It'll be Coronation Ring, Lineage Ring, Intricacy Ring, and Gold Brick.
That's different. I like that. I like gold bricks. Sam, I am.
And they're changing the amount of honors that are required for the blue chest. The blue chest thing will come up later. Their MVP chest, which used to only contain... What was it? It was the gold brick or... It was gold brick or it was Primeval Horn, wasn't it?
Nope. MVP chest used to be True Anima,
Ugh.
Champion Merit, Supreme Merit, Soul Balm, Horn of Bahamut, and then the 0.4% gold brick.
0.4%?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're taking the gold brick out of there. It's just only going to be a Primeval Horn or a Soul Balm now. I mean, Soul Balm will still make it salty, but Primeval Horns are the reason you're doing the raid these days, so... well, okay. Primeval Horns are the main reason to spam it when you're not looking for gold bricks.
Correct.
And then the host chest will be um, either a primeval horn or a gold brick.
It used to be True Anima, Champion Merit, Supreme Merit, Soul Bomb, Primeval Horn, and Gold Bricks.
That's such trash. So now
There are four misses in here.
yeah. So at least you can just get the primeval horn that you're looking for. So I mean, not everybody is people like us who. Well, actually, DJ, how bad are you on your primeval horn?
I need
supply?
another 50.
Ugh.
I'm at 40 right now.
Oh, oh, I feel. That's bad.
I don't run this raid because this raid sucks.
Yeah, I have 264 of these things, but still, it's just like that number doesn't grow because this raid sucks.
It has too much health. I'm literally full autoing for 30 minutes before someone gets in.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, once again, incredibly necessary. I'm curious, is there a dead PBHL in my raid list right now? No. Okay.
We don't, that means we get less of our joke during when's free.
Yeah, to see you at the crossroads.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, another raid that people despise, the 4 Primarchs. They're changing the drops of this thing. So it's going to drop Trial Fragments and Pinions, which is good. Where are the 4 Primarchs? They're here. They're here. So right now, you get Halos. The thing to come back for, I guess, is like Silver Centrums and Damas, and they also give you a good amount of the Primarch Anima. The Primarch Anima thing, by the way, was added in later. It used to be pretty much the only reason to do this raid was for the Halos, and then they ran out of reasons. They're like, bring him back in with Anima. They're adding Trial Fragments, which is good. More sources of Trial Fragments is important. Pinions are, I don't need them, but I'm sure people do.
Opinions the ones to host the other raids.
It's to host the raid, or it's the thing that you get from the Trial of the Primarch in special quests.
Okay.
Here.
I mean, less having to go back to those because I always forget to go back to those in the first place. All right.
And then the things that they're changing about the other things they're changing about 4 Primarchs. There used to be 3 times quartz that you could get in the MVP chest.
Did you also know that was more than 50% of the time you'll get the quartz? Yeah, the number distribution was like 42% Halo, 57% quartz.
Yeah, you get the Halo now. And
like why do you want the quartz? Why would you ever want the 3 quartz?
It's 3 quartz. It's so little.
It works so hard for this 3 quartz.
And then after Halos, it's going to be in the host chest. The Halos are also increased because you also used to get quartz in those, didn't you?
No, you only got 1 Halo though.
Oh, so they're dropping more Halos in the host chest.
According to this, yes.
Okay. Jeez, that's also a good change to a hated raid. Speaking of hated raids, let's go to the 6 Dragons, the other thing that we find abandoned in our raid list.
Oh, buddy.
So one of the things that they did previously to try and get more people into there was just add a V2 section to your raid backup requests. That helped for a little while. You always see a V2 raid here. Yeah, now they're changing everything about the 6 Dragon raids. So, number 1, the treasure that you used to only get, like, for example, for Fediel, it's like the Todestrebe. For Wilness, it's the Smoldering Rubble. The things that you use in order to uncap the weapon and create the Draconic weapon, they used to only come from either host chest or doing the solo raid. Or the solo battle, sorry. It just plain drops in regular chests now. And you can get earrings in regular chests now.
Oh, that's cool. That's actually nice.
In the blue chest, you can get they've added ancestral weapons and earrings, and you will no longer get the little like Fediel anima or whatever it's called, the jewels.
The jewels.
The jewels are no longer in there.
It was like a 90% chance to get. No, it was like a 98% chance to get a jewel.
Yeah. So now, along with the changes they're doing to blue chests in the 6 Dragons and in PBHL, which we'll get to in a second, It'll only be the good stuff. It'll only be either the weapon or a free earring.
I mean, both of those are really good.
Yeah. The MVP chest and the host chest, uh, the only changes to those things, they're keeping those the same, except for now the AX skill change is happening um, the
To the
raid,
weapons.
to the weapons. That part, eh. AX skills are one of those things that I'm just used to from like playing all this Diablo, and like given the way that they rain down on you in Replicard Sandbox, it's not so annoying. But when it was
They're really minor increases
not
to a
necessarily
degree.
that, they add up. They do add up a lot.
They do add up. I won't deny that part, but it's like it's adding to your min maxing.
Right. And the thing here is though, um, they're making the weapons easier to get just from one, adding them to normal drops, so that there's a reason for people to just pack in here until they get a bunch of them. Um, and this is something that I was gonna get to also. They're going to go into the shop. They're going to.
Thank you.
You're going to be able to trade those smoldering rubbles or whatever you have for a Wilness's finger. You're gonna be able to trade that for whatever else you needed.
It is really depressing not being able to buy these weapons right now. So I love this.
And then the single player raid, they're giving you more per. Remember the sad times when you would do the single player 6 dragon and you get one of the material and you're like, I spent 12
Yes.
minutes in this thing for what?
Remember when I used to fail and not be able to pop back in?
Yes, also yes. Dark days. Well, the 6 dragons are changing so that the blue chest is meaningful. PBHL is changing so that you don't get guaranteed blue chest at a certain honors point.
But you also get the good stuff at the blue chest points.
Yeah. So one thing I think I got wrong in the translation I did. So it's not a 50% chance to drop. They now max out at 50% of the HP of the boss. So I need to go back on Twitter and fix that too. So correction to blue box drop rate. All right. So there we go.
I like these changes. I like them a lot.
Yeah. And now we get to the other changes that they're making to the shop. So, all right, DJ, we're gonna have a contest. Go and see how many coronation rings that you have unused.
Which one are the coronation rings again?
The worst one.
Oh.
I have
I think I beat
268. What about you?
Oh, I 100% beat you, by the way.
Oh, geez, what is it?
Let me get to my number first. All right, just add bonus. Use item 553.
Jesus!
I don't use these.
Yeah, a lot of people don't use them, which is why soon you'll be able to trade them up for lineage rings.
Nice.
Also, things that you will trade for lineage rings include primeval horns, Akasha keys, the whatever the Marimo looking thing from Grand Order HL is, and Lindworm scales. They will all be able to trade for lineage rings in the shop. Lineage rings will be able to trade up for intricacy rings in the shop.
Nice.
And the other things that you will be able to trade for intricacy rings with include Lindworm scales, Bahamut primeval horns, Hollow Sky keys, and yeah, the whatever Marimo looking thing from Grand Order. You'll also, like I said, you'll be able to trade for the ancestral weapons as well. Yay! The ancestral weapons, by the way, will not have AX skills. Whatever.
That makes sense.
That's fine. You can trade for them. Thank God.
I can trade up from coronation rings that I've been holding on.
Yeah.
I knew spending my points every month made a sense.
Yeah. So then the next thing to talk about is the 21st. So let's see. The 21st also brings us the uncap for only 1 and 2. actually. Anre and Toya, and we talked about this when we were talking about the character upgrades. They will be able to go up to a level 110, and then it's a staged thing so that 3 and 4 will join them in February. Then in April, they'll get 5 and 6, and everybody will be able to go to a level 130. In June, I think you add 7 and 8, and then in August of next year, that's the full roadmap, is when you will be able to get level 150 on them, and you'll be able to add 9 and 10 to that, so Neon and Tien.
So 2 things for this, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
One, I'm not looking forward to seeing how much EXP that's going to take.
I, too, am not looking forward to this.
2, at least this is easy to remember because it happens every 2 months.
Yeah. I'm not going to worry about it until it's there. We'll talk about this next week when we find out what it actually entails.
And what it actually costs to uncap.
Yeah. Then there's, at the end of the month, we have Phylene, we have another version of Sandalphon, and we have Kandula coming up. Sure. And then
I have my Spark ready.
Yeah, so do I. And then we'll have, we'll have Gachapin Roulette at the time, so we'll be just rolling in rolls. I think we did it. No, we didn't. We didn't make it to the end of the month yet, because on the 28th we have a RoboMe Part 4.
That trailer. So I made a joke while you were doing the stream, by the way, to our voice chat, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm like, man, I can't believe they're making a trailer for a 4-year-old event. And then they had the thing at the where it's actually new RoboMe event.
Mm-hmm.
And I got super excited.
You're gonna get a skin of Nicholas as a giant robot. He's gonna be the Super Robot Gigantus. Do I still have the Super Robot Gigantus lying around? Let's find out. It would probably be... Oh, there it is! The Super Robot Gigantus. Right there.
Beats Evil, if I remember correctly.
What was that?
There was another robot that was Defeat Evil
Mm-hmm.
as their thing.
Phew. Jeez. That trailer got me real hype.
It was so cool.
Alright, DJ. I never claimed this was going to be a short episode. It was about an hour and a half. Thank you for sticking with me through all of this. Next week we get to have another long episode when we talk about the anniversary and all of the stuff that actually has gone live.
Yay! You said we're holding it on a different day?
Yes, we're going to be holding this on the 23rd instead of the 24th so that you can actually enjoy, Christmas Eve. So I need to go on Twitter and fix 2 things up. And then the only thing is that we're going to have an outro today as opposed to an intro. And it's going to be the translated version of the 7th anniversary trailer because we have a translated version of the anniversary trailer now.
Also, don't you have a giveaway?
I do have a giveaway, but first we're going to do the outro.
All right, let's do that then.
I worked hard on this, okay? Let me
I'm
have
gonna cry
this.
again.
Whoop, hold on, wrong one.
You also might want to change your scenes.
I did. All right, everybody, let's watch this over again.
Kidou修正-3 作戦識別 A2E 第1ルートを維持以後226秒間安定します。
よし、現時刻をもってフェーズ7へ行こう。着陸シーケンスを開始せよ。
了解。着陸シーケンス開始。
ブースターユニットとシーラーコンテナを分離します。
最終ブースターとの分離および投下準備完了。カウントダウン開始。
シーラー各機着陸に備えて最終確認されたし。
アルファ、ブラボー、ゴルフ、いずれも異常なし。
了解。視覚接続を開始。失敗すれば空の世界は終わりだ。頼んだぞ、お前たち。
これが月か。砂漠か荒野と変わらんように見える。
旅行で胸を躍らせている時間など1秒もないぞ。アイザックとの合流地点へ急げ。
了解。
れで最後にしましょう。こんなに馬鹿げたこと二度とごめんだわ。私たちは私たちができることをする。そうだろ？
僕は僕のルーツに従った。それだけだよ。
バザラがまさか死ぬ気か。
さあな、どうあれ作戦に必要な時間は稼げるだろう。行け。
いいんだな。
元帝国兵の団長、信用できますか？
君たちの若さに投資しよう。腕は立つようだ。ハイゼンベルクの始末、あなたが請け負ってくれると。
まさに世界が終わる日ね。おい、縁起でもないこと言うなよ。
団長、あの青き世界、俺たちで未来へつなごう。
解放する。フラメクの雷、蒼天を焦がせ。
おかえり、カシウス。